Welcome to the People's Voice on 107.3 Darling FM. I am Paul the Magician.
And I'm Zandas, Okeke. Good morning.
Yes, our guest this morning is Judge Okeke Adiele. He's a professor of education administration and planning, and he was one time the mayor of Owerri and the chairman of Owerri Municipal Council. He's a public opinion analyst, a commentator, a trainer, a management consultant, and a fellow Commonwealth Academy of Education. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes. Today on Monday, we take a look at what's being reported in our local and the national tabloid. And today we are starting with Nigerian News Guide.
All right, let's commence here with this quite an interesting, bold front page headline. It says, Uzodima's aides, hungry, poor, looking like errand boys to village headmasters group. With the rider says 80% of them still loyal but dying in silence. Alleges Igbo government is officially short-paying them in salaries and allowances. Emelumba accused of dominating and blackmailing colleagues. I don't know, would you want to react to that one? That Uzodima's aides, hungry, poor, looking like errand boys to village headmaster.
Well, I don't know how true that will be. I know many of them, and they don't look hungry to me. I see them looking poised to serve. I see them looking very determined to deliver their mantra, which is shared prosperity. And if they're going to be sharing prosperity, how can they themselves not be prosperous? Well, I don't know where they got that information from, but whatever it is, should there be any iota of truth to that, it's not a good thing for people who are working not to be well paid. If you want people to deliver, you have to ensure that they are happy, at least their basic welfare is taken care of. But like I said, I know many of them, and they don't look hungry to be. In fact, on the other hand, a few that I know look like they've started to prosper.
But last week we saw the appointment of 11 new special advisors to Governor Uzodima's cabinet. So if he is struggling to pay the ones he had, one wonders why he's going ahead to appoint more to his employ. And of course some will question why the fact that he had a lot of appointees is adding 11 to the list.
Okay, now we can speak to that point. The one about them looking hungry, for me, does not stand anywhere. But we can talk to the point of having too many aides. And, in administration, there's something we call unity of command, and we place it vis-a-vis span of control. Okay, who and who will these people be controlling? Where are the official positions that they will be functioning in? What is the line communication between them and public officers? How do they relate to the central government via the secretary to the government? How do they relate to the chief of staff and all of that? It will begin to look to me like both the chief of staff and the secretary to the government will have a span of control that is becoming wider and wider every day without proper definition. Even from what we already see, some of those appointments seem to overlap each other. And all that. So maybe these are things that he needs to talk about. But that they are hungry, I don't know.
Looking like errand boys.
Looking like errand boys. I don't think so.
Okay, let's take a look at this other headline. It's actually under your purview, kind of. Owerri West, now 90% APC. Onyemechi leads revalidation exercise in his AVU of All Award 1, vows to deliver party anytime, any day. How do you?
I don't know about the percentage, but I know that this being Nigeria and really being involved in prebendal politics, people are moving slowly and daily towards the party in government for obvious reasons. Those who want appointments, those who want political patronage, those who want to be part of the next government and all that, are drifted towards the locus of power now in Imo State, which is APC. So he might be right, but whether that is 99%, is not is doubtful. There are still lots of strong politicians in Owerri West who are not in APC and command a lot of followership. I don't think 99% will be a correct figure.
They use 90%.
Oh, 90. I don't think that 90 will be a correct figure.
All right, let's the last one here is an editorial. While Nigerian Senate should stop Buratai and co from holding diplomatic positions. Do you buy that?
A diplomat is a representative of not just the government but also of the people. Okay? If Buratai and Co are representative of the government, I am not quite sure by public opinion that they are representatives of the people of Nigeria. They're not well liked. People do not think that they have done well. We only send as an envoy somebody who has excellent pedigree and all that. They may have been very good combatant soldiers, but as commanders of what is the most important security issue that we have in Nigeria at the moment, they haven't done well at all. Everybody knows that. For more than 2 years, people were asking that they be relieved of their positions, and when they were finally relieved of these positions, to now gratify them by ambassadorial appointments looks like a slap on the face of Nigerians. They do not represent the excellence that which Nigerians want to be seen, and I'm not quite sure that even the international community will respect them. An ambassador should command great respect wherever he goes. So I don't think that they should have been made ambassadors. They could have become farmers, for example. We need a lot of food.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are complaining. They failed in their primary assignments where they held sway, the security situation in the country, and then you're now taking them to a diplomatic arena where they don't really have an inkling of what it takes.
Their employer said that they did very well. When the president was relieving them, he said they performed very well.
But you and I know
performance now is relative in terms of where you're looking.
Yes, but you and I know that Nigerians see them as failures because insecurity, reached the peak under their watch. Each and every time they tell you we're on top of it, and the from only Boko Haram, we have bandits, we're having kidnappers, we're having herdsmen in the forest and all of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Chief Judge Ubuaja calls him, if you agree with this your assertion that every Nigerian agrees that they failed.
Early this morning, you talked about the majority of Nigerians. Early this morning, this talk about what happened in Niger.
Yes.
Where a bus was stopped in the middle of a village, and the entire passengers were whisked into the forest.
Right.
This is what Nigerians see every day.
I have to say this. I started by saying that they may be representatives of the government, but not of the people. Now, if clearly President Buhari says they have done well, what do you expect a grade 3 school side person to say about somebody who is? If you understand, if you get what I'm saying, the president himself hasn't done well, so he's using his own statistics to judge these people. The president promised a lot of things, okay, and he has not delivered on them. We must say this as Nigerians. It's not a political thing. So many things that can be counted. The exchange rate, housing, transportation, security, etc. It's not been given, not just by President Buhari. Even the government of Jonathan did not deliver also on many of the things that they promised. So Nigeria is drifting away every day, and our values are getting washed away, slowed off, and all that. And so if a man like that says that Buratai has done well, that's his opinion, but it's not the opinion of Nigerians, I can assure you.
All right.
Yes.
Let's move to Nigeria news point. The caption here says, alleged Rochas loot. Uzodimma must recover Eastern Palm University, IBC premises, others. And this is coming from Bob Njemanze.
It has not been recovered because last week the tabloids were agog. The state government has taken complete possession of the Eastern Palm University.
Yes, there was another statement from the Chief Press Secretary, Special Advisor actually, to Senator Rochas Okeke, saying that the university belongs to both the government and Rochas Foundation based on the PPP arrangement, because there is a law backing the ownership of the university?
Yeah, this is why it's very important that we scrutinize people very well before we give them political trust, or we place our trust in them. The fact remains that this is a country where we depend on order, law and order. And if Governor Hope Uzodimma wants to recover those things, he has to follow due process. It has to be according to law. And if they are actually rich, well, he should recover them if they were looted. But if by sleight of hand, by somebody being smart or whatever, they have used the law to acquire those things, then quite unfortunately, there's very little that we can do about that. Very, very little, unless we want to break the law. Yeah, because and no government will want to break the law. So it's important as people are listening now to know that the person you put in office can use that office, even using the law, to all kinds of advantages. So before you let anybody get into office at all, scrutinize him very well, because if he's somebody who is not straightforward, he's going to do a lot of things that are not straightforward.
Okay, I was going to add that yes, it's a very important point we have to consider, especially because the State House of Assembly gave their nod, by virtue of passing a bill to the effect that it should be a public-private partnership arrangement.
And to that extent, then the acquisition is legal. To that extent, which now goes on to reinforce my position that even ordinary councillorship is a very serious position. Don't give these people to people who cannot reason, who do not have your interest at heart, because they will do things that will divert from what you originally wanted. And that's what has been happening, not just in Imo State, but all over Nigeria.
Look at this headline. Say, aftermath of Eastern Palm University recovery, Imolites want Spibat, Rogers College, others.
Yeah, you and I are on the streets. We know what's going on. We hear opinions when we go out with our friends. And yes, that's what the people want. But if you want these things and you cannot legally get them back, then you've lost them. It's just as simple as that. We can't romanticize this too much. So next time you want to elect somebody, do not elect somebody that after a while you begin to see wealth that was not there before and you want to recover it. Take somebody, for example, like Chief Mbako, who even after he left office had just one house. If you understand what I mean, we didn't hear elect somebody like Donald Duke, who after he left office, the people were not talking. He was there for 8 good years, and people were not saying, give us back our this and give us back our that. Elect people, elect people like so many people, like Peter Obi, for example. Okay? Elect such people. If you want people to go to the Senate, for example, elect this gentleman from Abia who is representing Igbo interests. He's not getting a lot of things, he's not getting contracts, he's just there saying his mind all the time. If we do this, no matter how bad the governor is, there will be people there to say, no, you cannot do this. For example, in this matter of the university, for example, if the State House of Assembly has said, no, you cannot, we don't want any PPP with you or anybody for that matter. We won't be talking about this now.
Yeah, but a situation where the legislature seems to be a rubber stamp right now.
That's just my point.
How do you now say no, they want?
No, there are people who cannot be rubber stamps.
Yeah, but they say majority may have, minority have their say, but majority have their
let there at least be 1 or 2%
dissenting voice.
Yeah, who just say, look,
I might be sanctioned after.
No, what does it matter? What does it matter? You see, the problem that we have in our politics is that most people depend on this politics for social relevance. If you have something that you're doing, if on your own as a man you are content, you don't have to be a big man, you don't have to have all the money. If you know what God brought you into this world to do, and you always do it, and you're happy doing it, Chachi Kadiel is very happy to be the radio station doing the teaching that God brought me to this world to do. So there may be other things I could do, but this morning, yesterday, and tomorrow, I'm going to be happy and content. So there are things you will bring to me, and I say, sorry, I will not do this. And there are many people like that in this country. Unfortunately, we have information that does not allow such people to thrive and come into public space and get public trust and get into positions of public trust.
Sometimes
this is why we're making these mistakes.
You don't see the true color of a man until you give him power.
Sure. But we also
hopes have been dashed so many times.
So there are people who have clear pedigree. It starts from childhood.
Okay.
And you know them.
All right, let's hold your thought on that. Quickly, we'll run through this before the commercials. Let's move on to another story. This one says, Uzodinma forcing Imo monarchs, civil servants to register with APC. PDP alleging.
No, I don't think that is true. It can't be true.
Maybe to corroborate that, it says APC, that's Edge Express, APC revalidation exercise records low turnout in Imo, with the rider party officials adopt Jehovah Witnesses house-to-house approach to meet their targets.
Oh yeah, sure. So, let's start with this. Public servants, civil servants cannot be politicians. So that
no, but they can be party members.
No, they can't.
Most times you see them, I mean, when there are rallies, they tell you the whole secretariat should be closed. They kind of dress them in gowns and move them to the stadium.
That is wrong. They can't be. So we put that one aside. In APC in Imo State, there is a struggle for supremacy, and the registration materials, to my knowledge, have not been evenly distributed. So individuals with vested interest in the party are adopting the so-called Jehovah Witness approach, trying to get people out into their own faction of the APC. So that's what I know for sure is going on at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so Oluzume, PDP, iPad berate attack on newspaper publisher in Imo. Page 9 has details of that story. I hear Precious Wandike is already recovering. If we can, we might get him to come share his side of story. Yeah. All right, and just one more from here, and I think we can go with this. Those fighting governments over Imo rubber are people's enemies. Eze Wonso speaking. More details of this story, grab a copy of Nigeria News Point. Page 10 has details.
Alright, let's quickly go straight to Edge Express newspaper this morning. And yes, I've already taken the one of the validation exercise. Okpala community present is elect to Okpala IMC chairman. Okay. Reps consider bill seeking to disqualify journalists without media degree. I think it's
107.3 Darling FM for Eagles Radio. 107.3 Darling FM for Eagles.
Visit our website today on www.flyerpeace.com.
Dr. Holland's advanced formula gets 21 bioactive nutrients wey go make your body strong. E get hemoglobin wey dey use build your blood, Iberian ginseng and B complex for energy and strength, choline for fatty liver and brain function, omega-3 for cardiovascular disease, plus including green tea and lycopene. If you get pregnant, make you consult your doctor before you use them. Every family need Dr. Holland's ogbonge multivitamins and mineral supplement. E dey for liquid and tablet. Dr. Holland's smells and Nahabaya draw. You know me, you are moving to the switch game. You can be with the switch game. Right now you are moving to the switch game. Set one game. Retire well game. Pension secure game. Just switch game. Set one Stanbic IBTC game. Transfer window game. Happen to live game. One pension manager game. Join the Switch Gang today. Stanbic IPTC Pension Managers, a member of Stanbic Bank Group. Salvation Army, Orogwe, Owerri West Local Government Area of Imo State. Keep our local number. Owner Karequentia 0913-772-0001. But we got a website on www.regimegas.com.ng. Macheta, now you will Regime Gas Plant, Neighborhood. New Relief Market, Owerri. Yana, one in North Pocket Layout. Irete, Ebada Junction, Onitsha Road, Owerri. Regime Gas Plant. One is that huge wins from high odds all the way with the fastest payout. Take more for winning advantages from your deserving bets on all sports. Because with one is that, everyone can win. What about you? Visit our website on oneisbet.ng. Use promo code BETNG and get up to 200% bonus on your first deposit. Yes, 200% bonus on your first deposit. One is bet. Bet for every taste.
Charles! Yes, Mama! Good 2 sachets of Hyper Beach Corn. What's you, Ma? Because I will use my text to rights. They call this other one taking all the Yamayama jams. What? I didn't see any Yamayama jams for him, Ma. They smell well, but they did it. And now I have just only Hyper Beach to take you all of them, pata.
Make all your white clots, they continue to be white and they kill all the virus and the Yamayama jams. What will cause sickness for your house with the disinfecting power of Hyper Bleach?
You're tuned to 107.3 Darling FM, 25 minutes past 9. We're still reviewing some local tabloids.
Yes, this one is still Edge Express, and the story here says reps consider bill seeking to disqualify journalists without media degree. You know, some have said there is need for laws, you know, to guard the journalism profession. And right now, the present House of Representatives are considering a bill seeking to disqualify journalists without media degree. What's your take?
Well, it's good. It's good to have professionalism in every facet of life. But when it comes to journalism, I don't know whether that law should be strictly followed. Because there are lots of people who can write, and lots of people who can report very well, who may not have journalism degrees. But I do think that, howbeit, that some kind of accreditation should be necessary, even if it's not a journalism degree, but some accreditation by a well-formed group of people to say, yes, in as much as you do not have a journalism degree, but because of this and that, which may be stipulated, you can do so, and then you're licensed to do that. Take for example, in my area, I'm a member of the Institute of Professional Managers, and it sets out criteria for you to be a professional manager. And in as much as you score a lot of points if you studied something to do with administration and all that, but there are also other things that may qualify somebody who does not have a business degree to become a professional manager. For example, if you've been in a management position over a very long period and you have been there and your employers are asked to say what you've done and all that, then you can be admitted. So in as much as I think that it's good to do what the reps want to do, maybe they should add into that bill that if somebody does A, B, C, D to Z, he could be admitted and he will be allowed to practice journalism. I'm talking about journalism also, please. Let me just use the opportunity to say that some of what we now see is clearly not journalism, especially with our local newspapers here. It's quite a pity to notice that some journalists, or some people who work in newspaper, especially in the newspaper houses, you could read have a discerning mind, you could read from what they write that they are paid.
Or they're biased.
Yeah, they are paid.
Or they have interest.
Yes. And we could have bias, but you still have to report in a way that does not in any way impugn on the reputation of your profession or vocation.
Okay. Let's move to Lead Express. Return of ESN. Residents, others, deserts Olu again. Military storms area on helicopter. Traders abandon shops at international market. I'm shocked to learn this.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. I have friends who come from there, and people are not sleeping with both eyes closed around Olu area at the moment. I'm quite sure the government knows about this, and I see that they're doing a lot concerning this. But however you look at it, this is an issue that has come up because the government, the federal government, does not want to come and make clear statements concerning herdsmen. I asked somebody not so long ago, is there any piece of land in Nigeria anywhere that is not owned by some entity, whether it be corporate, governmental, or individual? The answer is no. So if you go into any piece of land anywhere in Nigeria to do any kind of business, be it herding, be it cutting of firewood or whatever, without the permission of the owner of that land, you are trespassing. So why is it difficult for the federal government, which is the repository of our laws, not come out and say these people are trespassers and we are going to do A, B, C, D to ensure that they do not trespass anymore? It's something that nobody...
Yeah, but in a situation where Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State is saying that the forest belongs to nobody but to the government of Nigeria, how do you marry that?
I don't know where he's getting that from.
He said it belongs to nobody. So
that Bala Mohammed will be making a big mistake by telling that lie.
And trying to...
where is the forest? Is it Olu?
Well,
he said the forest, the entire forest in Nigeria, because they keep saying the herders are hiding in the forest, and people are saying they should leave the forest.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just
okay.
I'm adding to what Professor Jachimike is saying.
Yeah, I think
the land, there's no land that does not belong to somebody.
The forest reserve in the southwest. I know there was the eviction notice that may have prompted that statement. But when you're talking about herders invading farms of people,
farms, not even just forests.
Yeah, exactly.
With live agricultural plants growing.
Exactly.
Even at that. But even if you take that, there is no forest anywhere that does not belong to one entity or another. Okay, even if it belongs to the government, did the government ask the herdsman to go there? The answer is no. How I wish that the government will actually own these reserves and take all these herdsmen into their own reserves.
Yeah, and even if you say it belongs to the government, the state government owns the land.
Yes.
And at the time that he may have said that, the state governor, Rotimi Akeredolu, gave them eviction notice.
Yeah.
Yet he was challenged.
Yes. So the landlord says, leave my place.
Yes.
He says he can't leave your place, it belongs to the government. And the same government has said, I don't want you here.
Yeah.
So see, let's face the fact. I'm going to go back to this thing again that I keep saying. This country is not well put together. And it is our responsibility to put it together in such a way that there will be peace and justice.
A lot of people are turning your line of talk right now.
Well, there's no other way out of this
than to restructure.
We have to restructure this place in such a way that there will be peace. Everybody will respect everybody. And it's not a difficult thing. People are saying, oil, okay, fine, okay. Dig all your oil in Bayelsa. But then when you want to come and buy cow, we will take your oil money from cow and everybody is happy. So I can have my petrol and then you can have your beef, for example. Okay? Take all the diamonds you have in Zamfara, but any day you want yam, you have to come to Benue. Okay? So whatever you get from me by coming to Zamfara, when you want your yam, I get it back and we equalize and everybody is happy. But if you keep saying that you will keep your own and take my own and then you will take my own and give me only what you want to give me, whether I deserve it or not, there's not going to be peace.
Okay.
Even if there's peace, it will be a piece of the graveyard. And the piece of the graveyard is a very bad security situation. One day something is going to happen and all of us will begin to regret it. So now that we have the opportunity, can the members of the National Assembly begin to talk about, one, rewriting this military decree that was given to us as a 1999 constitution, and two, talk seriously about how to restructure this country without breaking it into pieces, because Nigeria should be one. There's everything to gain by Nigeria being one, but not one where there is no peace and where there is no justice.
We'll continue to analyze these headlines as we take calls from those waiting to join the conversation. We're yet to take headlines from any national tabloid, so we'll consider that. But feel free to call 0815-050-1073 to be part of this discourse. Keep it civil, please. No attack on any personality. You can actually comment without insulting anyone. But most importantly, turn down the volume on your radio when you call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, my brother. May God continue to bless you.
Happy to be the best caller today.
Okay.
On the issue of security threat in this country, we all know that the government at the head, under the government of President Muhammad Buhari, is the cause of it. He entered as a president. He asked every Nigerian to surrender their arms and the ammunition, and he asked other parts of African countries, the Fulanis from Mali, South Sudan, Niger, and all the rest, to come into Nigeria without a visa. When they come there, the visa will be issued for them. What are we not talking about? Today, the Fulanis are terrorizing the whole country. And we all know that through the history, Fulanis, they are not Nigerians, they are visitors in this country. Look at what happened in the Bible between the Israelites and the Egyptians. But I thank God that the West, in the Yoruba, formally they think that what the Igbos are saying, that we are just joking. They are seeing it now. But finally, let the president under President Muhammad Buhari, if he wants Nigeria to be little peaceful to restructure Nigeria, just like the professor has said, we only need restructuring. Not even we are going to see what is happening now. People are calling for state policing. He don't want to listen to that one. He's just giving us community policing without batting, without matches, without arms and ammunition.
All right. Thank you.
There is no way.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to say,
mention about Fulanis not being Nigerian.
Yes, exactly what I wanted to say. There are lots of Fulanis that are Nigerian.
Exactly.
Lots, and who should be here, and who are friendly, and who are doing their business and doing very well. So that when we are talking about problems, we know exactly where the problem is coming from. This problem is coming from, one, the government of Nigeria not being able to make valid and reliable pronouncements on this insecurity situation caused mainly by Fulani herdsmen. Okay? Some of these herdsmen we know are not Nigerians. Okay? But of course, if they come in and they stay for a period of time and all that, they qualify, just like other people go elsewhere and qualify to become citizens of that country. But we must do things to ensure that their coming in and their activities here do not in any way put our security at risk.
Is it possible that the government's policy on allowing free entry from our neighbors fueled this whole crisis?
Well, yeah, sure, you would. Because what we're saying is that you can come in. And then when you come in, if you're in, you're in. Especially with the sort of bureaucracy and corruption that we have. If you're in and you have a couple of naira, somebody does your papers and you're a citizen and the law begins to protect you. Even give you a stamp on which to stay and do your nefarious activities.
Yeah, but there are many countries that allow, such policies. Dubai, for example, you get there and they give you visa. So if Nigeria decides to toe that line, especially for economic reasons, I don't think we should throw the baby with the bath.
But our circumstances are not the same as Dubai. our circumstances are not the same as Dubai. Dubai does not have the large mileage of boundary that we have, with 4 different nations to start with, or 5 different nations to start with. Okay. And
I just use that. Benin Republic is another example. I just use that as an example.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we also have porous borders.
Yeah. So that's a challenge that we have to deal with, perhaps.
Yes.
Why you allow such policy?
Yes.
But then again, even when you allow people to come in, you don't expect them to come in with arms. So who are their suppliers?
And who is coming in? If we take your Dubai example, for example, because of the location of Dubai, if you're coming in, you're either going to come in through 1 or 2 airports. Indeed, you can hardly come in from anywhere else. Okay, so there's control, and so they can imagine it, they can afford it. There's already a bureaucracy and a system that organically works out where you come in, where you go, what you're doing. You understand? And so it can be controlled. It's hardly the same situation here.
Even when you overstay, they start taxing.
Yes, they know that you overstayed and you pay for it, and it's controlled, okay? And they have the money and they have the administration to take care of this, which we don't have. And they don't have as much corruption as we have. As we speak, Nigeria today is the 3rd most corrupt country in the world.
What are we doing? Are we really comparing Nigeria to Dubai? We shouldn't even do that.
Well, but you brought Dubai up.
It's a policy.
Yes,
we got call. I think.
Yes, so
Hello, good morning. Turn on the radio.
Very greetings from
Welcome. All right. Welcome.
Let's talk about that group and the Richards about the Stanford University.
Mr. Palm, okay.
We have been, there's something you said about the memorandum of understanding, and the House approved it that the state has 10%, where the information has 90%. Is it not counterproductive venturing into that thing that even God cannot give it to us? Why there are 5 new built universities? Now this administration has made it horrible. Even think about the market that was built in Okeke, nearly completed up till now, nothing is going on. So the issue of struggling for the only existing out of 6 new universities, one that is existing. Now the interest of government is it to collect it and make it to die just like others. I went to the one built beginning with and then I went. Why is our mood being wasted? This place has been completed just for the students to go in. And I was told that before he left to go tell them, he got accreditation to some of these universities. So even though I came and the splash it and the road came and continued, where are we heading to? You have 5 and they're interested in one that is working. You want to stop the thing from working. Please, is it not counterproductive? Okay. I'm not happy with what is happening in this state.
Right.
I don't belong to a political party. I'm political. But I'm not happy with the government.
Okay. All right, that's fine. So you get the position he's taken.
I'm trying to.
You have about 6 institutions. Yes. And which are begging for government attention in terms of funding, but you are stopping the one that is functional, perhaps, if I'm allowed to say that, on the basis of the ownership of the institution, and that a lot of investment had gone into the institution. Why not allow it to operate? They just matriculated students and focus on the others that are waiting for government funding.
Well, I don't think the issue is whether it's operating or not operating. I think the issue there is who owns it.
His position is the government shouldn't stop the operation of the university on the basis of the ownership, because there are many other universities or institutions, higher institutions, that needs the government's attention. So why is the focus on this particular?
I don't think the government has stopped them from matriculating or attending the lecture.
The government said the institution should be under lock and key.
Oh,
yes, that's the position of.
I know people who understand. I don't have that information.
But the Commissioner for Education said that himself.
No. I don't think in that case. Then I will align my thoughts with the caller. There are those students are Imo State citizens, and their parents are tax-paying adults. So if they are in the university should be allowed to run. The issues of ownership will be worked out in the long run, and the students should be allowed to continue with their work, especially the staff also. People keep talking about students all the time. Well, at least 28% of the work done in the university is about research. So when we are talking about students, yeah, it's true because that's what we see. But if you close down the university, a whole lot of research is also being stopped at that time. And some of these research efforts are time-bound. You could stop a place, and if you stop a man from getting into his office, for example, and all that, at the time when he's supposed to be talking with some people very far away from here and all that, he loses train, and it could actually, in fact, some research, and if you stop somebody, for example, from getting into his lab, if somebody has put in something, he should take observations at some impact or that, and for any reason he does not do that, then he just lost that research, and there might be research, and it might be corresponding with people, with international agencies and all that. So it's not just the students, we should also talk about the staff. They should be allowed to at least get into their offices, do their work. The students should take their lectures, and we can begin the politics of the ownership, the politics and justice of its ownership can follow after that.
Right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Zandas and Body Position.
Good morning.
And thank you very much, our guests, for doing a nice work. I'm talking about our guests. I said I did a nice work here.
Yes, he acknowledges. Go on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning.
Yes. I want to say that the matter about federal government and Fulani people, the Eastern Security Network and about the group, the government is not actually addressing this matter very well. The reason is that these people put a law on the federal government and no person and individual should carry costs that matter. When Buhari is as president, he came here through the IGP and took all the guns belonging to individuals away. But allowed the Fulanis to continue going about to the AK-47. And somebody came out to tell us that there is need for defense. But the people now can never use it. Other commands is not to fight with it. They see him with it along the way from Ohad to where they will wear him like running around illegally down to somebody. So what I'm saying is that the federal government should come into this matter. I tell you that it is reality now. If they need to any place to start making trouble, what does will drive them? They are having the problem because they are in their place and they are security. And they want them to sleep and relax. Well done. Thank you very much.
All right. Even though your radio
was quite loud.
back got in the way.
He was talking about double standards precisely, but you see, buttressing that as well, the country is so divided today. You understand? You saw what happened, over the weekend, the Yorubas and their Hausa traders, burn up the markets, naming and killing some people. I mean, the country, it's everybody are championing ethnic, are becoming ethnic champions now. When did we get to this point? Is it because of just the herders, or it's a concomitant of just everything happening?
A whole lot of things going on right from the beginning. We have thought that the Civil War would have taught us a lot of lessons, and that we should have learned from that. I have asked this question: the people who are in IPOB and ESN and all that, what were they during the war? During the war, I was a child, personally, and I could say I suffered. I saw my friends suffer from kwashiorkor. I saw my friends die and all that. I could have trauma, and I could be forgiven if I didn't interfere with Nigeria, which I don't, because I have seen the good sides of Nigeria. Okay, maybe because I being one out of millions, had opportunities to use my God-given talents to get to a fairly comfortable position by struggling on my own. What are the millions who, after the war, have not been given a fair opportunity? How about the people who should have gone into federal government colleges, for example, to get good education and good exposure? Who did not, just because they come from a particular part of the country? What about the police officers from some parts of the country who are not promoted because they come from a certain part of the country, and there has to be a quota, no matter how good you are on the job? and then you find that somebody who was your junior suddenly becomes your boss. How about the bankers who lost their enterprise just because they couldn't muster the political support to get on? How about the manufacturers who have been forced out by economic policies aimed at a particular section of the country? People are not going to be happy. This is injustice. And these are things that we don't do. These are things that go on every day in Nigeria. So Nigeria is full of people who are not happy, who cannot trust even their neighbors. And so everybody is going to their comfort zones. So if your comfort zone is among the herders, you go with the herders. If it's among 419 people, you go to the 419 people. If it's among politicians who are corrupt, you go to politicians who are corrupt. If it's among lecturers who sell grace, you go there. If it's among church people, every day you fast and pray. Are you following my drift? So Nigeria is in segments. All sorts of descriptions of and several combinations of these segments working in such a way that has become completely unworkable.
Yes.
Completely dysfunctional.
Yes.
And so individuals are just living, even the people who have money in this country are not wealthy. You know why? They can't live the life of wealth. If you're wealthy, you will live the life of wealth. It will surround you naturally. But you can't live a life of wealth if you're not secure. You can't live a life of wealth if you can't call for something and it comes to you. Even your ATM, you're not sure. You could go to a very good restaurant to eat, and then you put in your ATM and it's not paying. And for 15 minutes, you're there with the waiter and the supervisors just trying to pay. After you eat for half an hour and you use a quarter of an hour to pay. By that time, the joy of going out to eat in a good restaurant has left you. You're frustrated. You're asking yourself, why did I come here in the first instance? So you can now see how even in wealth, Nigerians are not happy. They're not secure. So if you don't do something to build communal spirit, to make people love one another, trust one another, invest in one another, help other people along the way, we are not going to be happy. And we keep pretending. Every day, we keep pretending that things are okay. A few people tell us that things are okay. Even they themselves. I'm sorry to keep referring to this gentleman, but he's our president and he must take. I am sure that President Buhari is not a happy man. You can't be happy if you every day you read the sort of things that are written about you and you see caricatures of yourself. You can't.
All right. Let's take more calls.
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
107.3 Darling FM, People's Radio.
Make your life better with BBC News Pidgin. To get better for this world, you suppose know wetin dey. Make better tori ginger you from your domot to the whole world. Because when you see everybody for the world, anything dey possible. Make your life better. Search for BBC News Pidgin.
What is that? Don't land with big ogbonge.
And sharp method. You will like sports. This is now your big opportunity to take to make better money on top all your bets. Where you dig a roof. My Naija people, I beg, make una no sleep on this one. Make you rush now. Go visit our website on onexbet.ng. Don't forget to use the promo code BETNG and you go get 200% bonus on your first deposit. OneXBet. Bet will go for everybody.
Accordance with the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC's mandate to link every phone number to the user's national identification number, NIN, Nine Mobile as your network of choice is making the exercise nice and easy. Simply dial *996#, verify and link your NIN. Better still, you can visit www.9mobile.com.ng/NIN to do the same. Remember, the switching time sees all the 9Mobile benefits you've always enjoyed. So hurry now.
Stanbic IBTC gang. Okay, happen to life gang. Then I want your pension from Lagos. You know me, you gang. You are moving to the switch game. It can be with the switch game. Right now you are moving to the switch game. This game is the switch game. Switch now, make you check now. The first on the show, make a no lie. After big TC if you want try. Transfer with the show, so no job. Ask the con know if you no try. You confirm account with the no sign. Special manager, we go show you that. Set our game. Retire well game. Pension secure game. Just switch game. Set our Stanbic IBTC game. Transfer window game. Happen to life game. One pension manager game. Join the switch game today.
Stanbic IBTC Pension Managers, a member of Standard Bank Group.
107.3 Darling FM, the People's Radio.
Alright, let's take that call that we missed.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Father Zandas.
Good morning, Friday.
Our guest, good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
This Friday from River State.
Go ahead.
Yes, I thank you all. Our guest, God bless you.
Thank you, my
Yes,
brother.
God. I don't see church in this country. Support of God, I think that issue as a big thing. People are dying. Now, Father Zandas, I know that this country are no longer needed anymore. They are divided. That's why about Lagos State and Lagos and the Hausa. They are fighting. I thought they are one before. They didn't see them. Let's not go that way, sir. So in some other aspects, it is not force and a woman, the little baby. That one is the family woman. The baby is 2 months pregnant. Yes, there's maybe 2 months baby. The lady is the woman, I don't want to stand for it. Where is those forests? Yes, we put a new army chief of army staff. So where is those people? Our new recruits.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Alright, Friday, put your emotions in check.
Alright, Friday, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take one more call before we get your concluding statements.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for keeping my call. I've been in line this morning.
Oh dear.
Good morning.
God bless you.
God bless you, my brother.
And our own man,
God bless you, my brother.
Paul the magician. Our guest, the welcome, sir.
Thank you. God bless you.
This is a dynamic voice of football.
Go ahead, sir.
Chief of and the men they call express revolution is worldwide. And fire now.
Alright.
Let me say here, all over the world, I'm not saying where is the state governor. We are going land. Why in office? I say you want to deal with state university. And now it's very usual. The state you have 10% in his translation, his company, we have 90%. This is unacceptable. And that university should be back to him. Commission and commission. Let me say here, if the agency is working, I think they should be named operation. If they are working, or I think they're not working, I think they're very sentimental. If the EFCC is working, there should be 100% food for us to be able. Let me go talk about the insecurity. Food and email are carrying AK for 7. The craft is globally in Imo State. How much are they getting on both the one side while we stand by side alone? Can you tell me why Amisa is there? When it is not trying to bring us to the Nigeria. Really, we are carrying us here for 7. Nobody is talking how to get them arrested. Even the president. I am now calling on people. What is country? And this is forget against this Africa. Which was President Buhari. And he's been necessary. Who is necessary? This is my body that is running to unit.
Alright, Chief.
I have not much in the country. I'm not going to go to the people. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Okay, tempo's flying.
Yes, emotions high.
Yeah, the mood of the nation at the moment, and this comes because people are hungry to start with, they're insecure, and then there is COVID-19, so you can imagine the general temper of people, the general mood. These are not very good times. And I will hope and pray that our leaders will help us to get back to good times. Let the good times come. We have everything. And truly God loves Nigeria, or else we would have been finished. If God did not love us, with the things that have happened, the looting, the insecurity, Nigeria should have just been washed away. But God loves us. So maybe if we all turn back to God and ask Him for His grace and do what we can and have our eyes on peace and justice, we will certainly come back to our correct ways. And be proud Nigerians. Be proud Igbo people, proud Ijaw people, proud herdsmen. Because the herdsmen, I have a few friends who own cattle here and there, and they're doing well, and many of them are contributing, paying their taxes and doing good things. Who are these criminals? Can we get ourselves to a position where we can easily see them and get them and push them away from our lives?
We can.
I think we can, if we work hard at it.
Yeah.
Yes. And please, bro, permit me to use this opportunity. There's somebody that I know is listening at home. It's your birthday. I'm sure you know how happy I am. For all the prayers that we said this morning, believe you me, they will work. This is your year of total fulfillment. I'm using this opportunity to tell you, I won't tell the world your name, but you know me and I know you and God knows you. It's well with me, my dear.
Thank you.
God continue to bless you. May God bless Imo State and bless Nigeria.
Happy birthday to the person as well.
Happy birthday.
Judge Chimike Adile is a professor of education, administration and planning. He is a man of many feathers, a public opinion analyst, a commentator, trainer, management consultant, a fellow Commonwealth Academy of Education, and one who is very passionate about this country called Nigeria.
Yes.
First Imo, then the Igbo nation, then Nigeria.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be here.
Hoping for the magician.
And I am Zandas, Okeke.
We'll bring you the news headlines shortly.